All right, whenever you guys are ready, we'll take questions for Coach.
Tony, what do you like about the guys so far now that you've had them out here for a couple of weeks?
That they sense that there's competition. I mean, it's there whether you like it or not, but they sense it. And I think they realize that even though it is the fall and you don't get credit for stats or wins, there's an air of competition. And unlike last year where we had a lineup where you all could probably make it out before I could, come April and towards the home stretch. I don't know that that'll be this type of group. It could be one where you've got some platoon situations or a lot of guys used off the bench or short-term outings for pitchers. So maybe there's depth. I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see about that, but there's definitely competition. They sense it, and they're helping one another. It's not like they're at each other's throats. So the competition's being handled well.
Speaking of competition, it's going to be nice to face somebody else on Saturday.
Yeah, can't wait for it. And probably to a fault, we did not have this last fall. And sometimes you get looking ahead, and it's good that we've had something to work towards. But I think everybody in the building agrees we wish it was today, but it's not. So we'll utilize today and tomorrow to prepare. And then the weather looks good. I hear the crowd will be good, I hope. And obviously the facility will be good. They'll be taking care of us down there at a minor league park.
Is this Evan Russell catching project the most Evan Russell thing that you can think of?
I mean, anything orange. Well, I'll tell you this. We were trying to figure out what uniform we were going to wear, and he said it in great description via text, but he said wearing the Vols across his chest in orange is what he wants. Nothing's more Tennessee than that. So that text message kind of sticks out or rings true to me on what he's all about. I think the catching thing is really out of necessity for what we have going on here. It's him wanting a shot at pro ball. It's a lot of things wrapped into one. But for us, we're blessed to still have him on our campus. And I do hope that pro ball comes calling one day. But this guy's putting together a heck of a career on this campus.
Just how have you seen him grow from when he started this project, if you want to call it that, to now?
I think he's willing to listen for a guy that's older. To be honest with you, I think if it was an outfield drill and we really tried to break it down, he probably wouldn't look at you like maybe a freshman would, like tell me just what I got to do. I think he thinks he's got a handle on that type of deal. But with catching, when he asks you a question or you present information to him, he's a sponge. And he's very humble in the whole deal and realizes there's competition at that position too. I think it would be a shocker if he's not in our opening day lineup, but by no means has he, wrapped up the catching position on opening day.
What have you seen from Burns so far this fall? What have kind of been the good things, and what are the next things he has to kind of smooth out and show?
Yeah, it's repetitive for me, but just the attitude. He wants to be great, and he doesn't think he's great. So all in all, what you get out of that is an ambitious kid that approaches his work the right way, and I really feel like if kids will approach their work the right way around here, you've got as good a people, and I'm referring to our other coaches working with you, as you can possibly imagine. You will get better. And then the other thing is, his stuff has been, very, very good, which is what's hyped up, but his pitchability has been outstanding. I think he's a much better pitcher, if you know what I'm talking about, than people give him credit for. It's not I'm just going to try and blow your doors off for 3 outs. He's got the ability to be a weekend starter at some point in his career. And I think he can not only throw good stuff at you, but knows how to utilize it.
What have you seen from some of those young guys? Look like Burke and Moore have put together some good scrimmages at times.
Yeah, I think they're not scared. I mean, the two guys you just mentioned, you can tell they want to be here every day. And so with that, they're anxious to learn, to work, to show what they can do. But also they're not scared. And that's... You can tend to get a little timid or doubt yourself at times, and while neither one has been perfect, especially with the nuances of college baseball, base running so important, defense becomes highlighted. They've been far from perfect, but they've been good because I don't think either one of them are scared.
What has stood out about the competition in the infield, and has any of those guys kind of separated themselves or stood out?
I think what stood out is the flexibility to be out there when they're told to, and then to move around to different positions. We haven't done that as much because I think everyone kind of senses, well, I want to feel comfortable locking down a spot. I mean, for Fergie, he knew he was our second baseman, so if we asked him to go to first or even short, sometimes center, it was almost kind of like bonus time for him. For these guys, I would imagine in the back of their mind is I need as many reps as possible at second, because I want to be the second baseman or whatever spot it is. But when we've kind of bounced those guys around, they've handled it, they've gotten excited about it, and that's key for us because what the right combination is of the guys out there, we may not have unlocked that. I think Blake Burke and Tiers are the future for us at first base and at the plate and in a couple other positions maybe, but Luke seems to be the guy at first. But those other 3 spots are awfully important, and everyone standing here knows it was a big key to our success last year. So we'll find out what the right combination is, and again, instead of 3 guys, it may be 5, it might be 6.
What does it say about Christian Scott with this point in his career, all the competition in the outfield, to not transfer and to come back and want to fight for playing time?
I think he's got strong bonds here. We always tell guys in recruiting, it probably sounds like a sales pitch, but this is a relationship-based kind of staff and approach to recruiting. And he's got strong bonds here with people. I'd like to think he and I get along. We spent a lot of time together. He's anxious to get his degree from here. It's the place he always wanted to be at. And I think he sees himself getting better. While the stats might not be there online, there's no question he's gotten better each year in and out. And now I think he's smelling blood a little bit. I think, again, without COVID, maybe more action last year. Without an injury freshman year, maybe more. Maybe it's his time. I definitely feel like it's Trey Lipscomb's time, and those 2 are buddies. So maybe it's time for both of those guys.
Coach, who have been some kind of mentors to these younger guys so far this offseason?
Well, I'll answer that in a more recent fashion. The last few days, Ricky Martinez has come back to campus. He completed a rehab, I shouldn't say assignment, but his rehab on an injury with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but decided to move forward and is no longer playing pro baseball. He's going to finish his degree here and basically help guys out the way I feel he was helped by others when he was a player here. And that's a tremendous, tremendous advantage for us to have. And then Richard Jackson is honestly kind of the same guy he already was last year. Just a phenomenal resource, not just for the pitchers, which was what he was when he was playing here, but for all players. And the fact those guys don't have to tiptoe around either the head coach or, is Josh or Frank here that they might be out recruiting, they can go directly to those 2 as well as some others and really kind of get it more straight than I can give it to them because they went to school here, they played for this staff that ultimately kind of makes decisions. And I got to believe it not only guides the guys a little bit, but probably relieves a little bit of tension or, what if and stress and all that good stuff.
Tony, after getting things worked out personally for you during the offseason, how energized are you for Tennessee baseball moving forward?
Yeah, energized for the spring to get here, I think. To be fair, it's been a long haul since really January 1st last year. We've been on lockdown. Omaha is great, but you're behind in recruiting when you're away and others are on the road. We really felt like the draft was about what we thought, but it still left us with some holes. You got a lot of new faces here. You're scrambling to get to know them. They changed the recruiting calendar for whatever reason and sandwiched it into a smaller sample size there, so we've been running around doing that. So just now is where I'm starting to feel a little less stress and just a little more excited about what can this group do on Saturday and what will they not do, and then we can get really passionate about improving in those areas.
Last thing for me, have you been watching the AL or NLCSs, and what do you think?
Yeah, at times, good background noise or on the radio, and now on your phone, I'm kind of slow on all the technology with that stuff, but just bits and pieces, and would like to see Max do well. At the same time, wanted to see the Brewers do well because of Frank's son, Brett. The Cardinals, the Braves are kind of the area team that I've adopted a little bit. They took good care of us when we went down there. So it's just been a lot of fun to follow everybody. More importantly, you get some highlighted mistakes and also good plays made by these pro guys that literally today we'll watch about 8 more clips on what's been going on and use them as a teaching point to our players. So it's been multi-purpose reasons. It's been fun to watch. I've yet to get to a game I'm kind of itching to, but it's got to flow with our schedule the right way. So Max, I think you'll get it done tonight, but Braves will probably be playing in the World Series. So anyone from Atlanta watching that's got a couple free tickets, let me know.
Kirby got off to a fast start last year and kind of tapered off towards the end of the season. Just kind of what went sideways for him, and how have you seen him grow this offseason?
I think he was asked to do a lot, and he handled it tremendously. And this thing, it doesn't have to go in waves. I mean, you just mentioned a guy like Max or Chad Dallas. They were really strong throughout an entire season. But for the most part, to be fair to these kids, there's kind of, ebb and flow. So while you may not be the starting second baseman on opening day, your time will come, and with pitchers especially where you're using a lot of them, you see guys like Redmond scuffle a little bit, Kirby picks him up. Kirby maybe scuffles a little bit, Redmond picks him up, and that's just a minor example. That goes on a lot. But if you're going to dive deep into who Kirby is, he's a pitch to contact guy. He's not going to wow you with stuff, and it's important for him to work ahead in the count and not be in the dead center of the plate. Other guys we have, we may want them to attack the heart of the plate with their stuff, but for Kirby, a little bit different. And, part of it, too, is the league adjusts to who you are, and once they find out who you are, you're going to have to adjust to them a little bit, and I think he's in the process of doing that now.
How much have
Couple more guys.
Halverson, Dollander, and Tidwell done to this point in the fall?
They're kind of really just getting going. Most have only had about 2 times on the mound against live hitters. They've both, all 3 of those guys have slowly progressed into bullpens and then working with Frank a little bit and then facing hitters. So the one thing they can all say is they've started on the weekend, for an entire year almost, all 3 of them. And that valuable experience can't be replicated in a fall World Series or a fall game. So experience is not the issue. It's bringing them along the right way, maybe making some adjustments here or there, and that's where Frank is really kind of honed in on that with those guys. But they will get their action, against live hitters from other teams as well as ours.
Have you seen any continued growth out of Camden Sewell? What is he looking like in this offseason?
I hope I'm right, and I got to quit being so honest. Maybe we win more games, I can just start, acting like Bill Belichick. But the honest answer is, I keep saying he just seems like he's in a really good place. Fergie, Liam, Chad, Cam was always at those guys' house. They're really close, and I keep telling all those guys in text or over the phone, he just seems like he's in a good place. You're a freshman and you're a freshman. We were all there. You're kind of a geek when you're a freshman. And then, he's had to put on weight. He's had some health issues, minor ones at that, but he's never really gotten into a flow state. And I feel like right now he knows who he is, what he can do, mentally and physically. I think he's in a healthy spot. And so we'll see if that means greater results on the mound. But either way, he's just really pleasurable to be around, and he looks really good right now throwing the baseball. And now he is a leader because he's been here for quite some time.
Any more?
Coach,
All right.
how's last
question, guys.
Right. How's last year's success set up, the expectations for the younger guys coming in?
I think, for the recruiting classes that came in before, to no one's fault, I think a lot of them came in with, we're going to be the ones to change the program or revitalize the program or win or whatever. And last year, the team won. So I think the new guys have come in with a great deal of respect for the current players. And again, they're competing to try and take innings away from those folks. But there's been kind of a back and forth where I think our older guys see why we brought these guys in. They fit who we are. How good they are, we don't know yet. But they kind of fit what we're looking for. And then, the reciprocating there is kind of on the new guys' end. They respect what the returning players did last year. And so far, it's worked out good. But I'm sure there's a lot of college campuses where everyone's getting along because that first lineup has not been posted. And while Saturday will be more, hey, how do we just take advantage of this day and get as much action for guys? There'll be a little bit of strategy to, hey, right now this guy's done the best at this spot or whatever it might be. So it'll be interesting how they react and if they continue to be good teammates and just continue to work hard at what they're doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.